back today. Exciting video today. Pretty much gonna be going over just a trade that I ended up taking up on Tuesday that ended up getting me this payout. Right, this was $7.5 grand. Around 1.5K on each account, and I have 5 accounts. So yeah, I ended up making $1,066. Then went to Top Step, so I needed $5 more. So as you guys can see, I was pretty much slamming micros. Yeah, I lost $200 within like 2 minutes. But yeah, at that point, I'm like, I'm done. I'm gonna get it today. So I ended up capturing that today. This trade took 2 hours. I'll be going into it later in this video. More of a discretionary trade, but yeah, let's go into this trade at least. I did not post a trade recap for this. Just yeah, end up losing and then making it back. It was, I don't know, not really something I would really want to recap. But yeah, so going into today, or yesterday. So as you can see, pretty much large overnight move. This was the new week opening, right? Huge new week opening gap, like huge. So going into Tuesday, right, where we had this nice 4-hour fair value gap. I was a little bullish until we took out these highs on NQ, right? Nice, smooth, relative equal highs. That is what I was targeting for, longs, and then I'll be open looking for shorts after that. But yeah, so going into the 1 hour, right? Like I said, huge overnight expansion, come back down, pretty much retrace back in equilibrium. From there, right, you could see we end up sweeping out this low, right, create a nice 1 hour breaker. Let's mark this out, 1 hour breaker. So if I was bullish, right, I would ideally want to see, this 1 hour get respected for us to, push higher. So let's just mark that out for the orange. And then pretty much right at market open, we have this SMT, right, this SMT that ended up sweeping out this low. Then from here, nice SMT respecting this 1 hour breaker. This is where you would want to execute. The Unicorn V2 model that I have, I don't really trade it. Just gonna focus on just the V1 for now, right? Get into V2 later on. But pretty much all it is, right, is you have your overall breaker, right? Let's say London reversal, New York continuation, right? London made sense for it to come up, so now you're just looking for continuation. But pretty much the V2 model is you get SMT, right? Sweep at the low. That's pretty much when you slam long. Ideally, the earliest entry I would get is like some sort of 1 minute inverse, which you see we end up having like here, right? But I try to get let's just mark out this high. I try to get at just the unicorn out of it, just for now. But later down the line, I definitely want to get into the inversions out of the breaker. But yeah, so pretty much what I was looking at. Nice displacement higher from here. I saw this 1 minute breaker. I was super confident in this pushing higher because we respected this 1 hour, right? Nice V-shaped recovery. From here, you're pretty much just looking for some sort of entry, right? Notice this 1 minute breaker. I was ready to execute in here since we're overlapping with the 1 minute. So you'd pretty much enter here. Nice stop loss, below here. Or it could be like a 2R, so something like that. But we never got that tap, so I ended up just waiting. I believe let me see what time frame this breaker was. Yeah, oh well. So this is pretty much your next breaker. Might have been the 5 minute. Let's see. Yeah, I mean, kind of. So 5 minute breaker here. A little bit bigger than this. It's probably like right here. Yeah, something like this. Right. Higher high, lower low. Cool. So this is your breaker. We edge these highs. If we were to take out these highs, I would have hopped off because I'm not really looking for shorts, and the draw of liquidity has been met. So at that point, I'm like, I'm off, right? But we end up getting a retracement. Luckily, ended up stabbing longs right when we tap this breaker, since we're overlapping with the lower time frame for value gap. Yeah, so we were overlapping. I'm not sure what for value gap it was. But pretty much at the point you would just enter off the breaker, have my stop below this 3 minute for value gap, and yeah, pretty much got like a 1.76R. Yeah, I'll show you executions real quick because I'm not faking nothing. Let's go to MNQ. Jeez, man. chat. I got this covered. Donde está? Is it not here? Bruh, hold up. Blanking chat, blanking. Is it on? Hold up. Oh yeah, it's in here. I'm sorry, guys. Hold on, chat. Yo. Show my executions. Oh, here we go. Cool. Alright. Here we go. Oh, that was... Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, that's when I was slamming. Yeah, so I ended up getting in with 9 right at... Yeah, pretty much right when we tapped this. Ended up scaling, right, I pretty much just got out. And that's when I realized I was $5 away, like a few minutes later, so I just started slamming micros. Never do that again. But yeah, that was pretty much a trade. Netted me about $1,066. But yeah, and then obviously, like I said, I lost that $200, so I was like, fuck. Today I was a little more discretionary. I'll go into it. But yeah, so just going into the day, right? We have this new week opening gap. We have these, nice equal lows, right, on ES. We also, swept out this high, before market open. And, you can kind of treat this like a range, right? We tap 30K, like we don't really have a huge reasoning to go higher. Right in this range, where I swept out the range high. We have this draw of liquidity down here is huge, right? New week opening gap, equal lows. This is as best as it gets. So 1 hour, pretty much what I saw is huge dump at fucking right before market open. Like I was like, holy fuck. But pretty much what I was looking at going into the day, we had this 1 hour breaker that I was looking at. Sally never got to close below. I pretty much entered before. Once I saw we didn't close below, I'm like, fuck. But yeah, on ES I ended up entering. Pretty much just entered at the breaker. Kind of needed just a 1 hour today. So pretty much just ran a trade like this. Was in the trade for quite a while. We had this unfilled 4 hour down here as well on NQ. I believe it was right at these lows. So unfilled 4 hour. Right when we hit that, that's like, it's not the best way to go break even just because we saw these lows. So I ended up going break even right when we swept out these equal lows. And, my shape got fucking edged. My stop loss got edged by like two ticks. So before it obviously went to go TP. But pretty much what I was like looking at for today, I'm like, I don't really see a reasoning to go higher. Right, we swept at the high. Like pretty much looking for a continuation if you were to be long today. But it's so hard to take a continuation trade when we leave this huge gap. Right, like wouldn't you much rather us get this move down and then go higher for the continuation? Like that's more logical. So we had this huge down move. I'm like, at this point, like I don't see us coming back all the way up here. And we were pretty heavy. So at that point, like you wouldn't really think that we're going to retrace all the way back up here, before taking out these lows at least. So I was betting on, this 15 minutes to like hold. This is just one of the days where I trade ES because, the draw liquidity is pretty clear. But obviously it was not going in my favor. It was pretty much going up while NQ was going down. It's terrible. But yeah, you can see you could pretty much enter short, right? This is your 15-minute unicorn. Your SMT ended up coming at this high. So right when you get this SMT, that's when you would look to execute. So I'll kind of go into a trade that like is valid for my model. That happened today. So yeah, right, tab the 15-minute. From here, right, we don't have SMT. That's the only thing about my model. We don't have SMT. So now you're pretty much just waiting, right? You can see we end up sweeping out this high, right? Now we have the SMT. Now we're getting the breaker, right? So now since this is sponsored by an SMT, right, this is valid. This is kind of like top ticking, which I try not to do. Like I'd rather take the pair that has this sweep. So regardless, you still have your breaker here, overlapping 1 minute. Like you would pretty much enter, somewhere at the breaker, and then just stop loss at the for value gap high. So ideally, like, this is your trade. But not something I'm not sure if I would have taken, just because we dumped like 300 points before open. So yeah, so that's that today. Second payout in the books. Super happy about it. Super stoked. I'm not as happy. I'm obviously happy about it, but I'm not like, oh my god, because I already knew this was coming. And I've been grinding these accounts for super long. Kind of mentioned in the video before, but I had a payout in November, December, didn't do super well. January, I don't know why, but I was trading versions. Versions, they do work, but with my model, like, the inversion comes before. So, like, if I were to lose on the inversion, my unicorn pops up, then I can't take it because I already lost. So at that point, it was like, what the fuck? And then pretty much just an eval jail. February, kind of rough too. March, this is when it started like turning around a little bit. This is when I was starting to be more consistent with my model, right? And then after this month, I like kind of looked at myself. I'm like, when you win, you don't win a lot. You know what I'm saying? Like, you see I lose 500, lose 700, but I'm not making that much. So the point is, like, the RR. Like, I'm only making damn near like a 1-to-1. So at that point, I'm like, my model always prints at least like a 1.52 R. So why not just take high quality setups, trade less, and just target 2R, right? Risk 500, make 1,000. Because when I take these trades, right, I'll be like, okay, let's do half risk, right? That's just basically me saying that I'm not as confident in it, right? I'd rather put my balls on the line, especially with these funded accounts, and you could grind up a huge balance. Yeah, you might as well risk a fourth of your drawdown if it forces you to take better setups. So I looked at this, I'm like, I'm taking a lot of setups damn near every day of the week. What if I just don't take these trades? And these are the trades where I'm like, oh, let me risk half. Like, I could have avoided that. I'm saying, like, I'm fine with taking these losses. So then going into the April, I'm like, let's do that. So you can see I'm losing 500, losing 500. I think this was like, the half risk. So I think it was something like a trail. I don't know. But you can see when I'm winning, 1,000. Like, that is what you want to see. May. Yeah, and I still have May. I started learning a lot about my emotions, because these trades, like, pretty much almost every one of them hit TP. I just somehow fucked it up. You know what I'm saying? So I started learning a lot about my emotions, right? And it usually happens from the trades where I'm like, it's my model, but I'm just not confident in it. Like, the trades I want to be participated in, where I'm like, this is my model, this makes complete sense, I'm totally fine with risking what I'm risking on the trade. And those are trades where I don't care if it hits stop loss. But when I'm in these trades where I'm not as confident in it, like, those are the ones that my emotions come. So, I mean, regardless, I'm pretty much break even since like April at this point. So today you can see, like, I'm getting back. So a lot learned about my emotions during this. And yeah, I'm glad I was able to bang out today. Still, half the year to go, so I'm excited for what it's gonna bring. I don't really expect crazy amount of move that we had in the past few months. I think we're just gonna go into a straight fucking chop for a while. Like, let's just look at the overall chart. Like, I think we're gonna, like, let's just look at this, right? We pumped. We stopped pumping right here. So we pumped 54% in 217 days, right? Now let's look at this. We pumped 31% in 2 months. Like, that's fucking insane. So I think we're eventually gonna chop. We hit 30K. I don't really see like huge reasoning, but regardless, just look at the weekly, right? We tapped the weekly. Ideally, this is where you would want to look for continuations, right? We just have to start being careful, because we're eventually going to chop. It's going to get a little inefficient, so it's better to just take high quality trades, and that's really what it's about. And yeah, so now that I got the payout, now I can like kind of chill out a little bit, because when you're focused on the payout, the emotions come. So like now I have like money to like be chill for a while. So yeah, so pretty much just going through the rest of the week, I'm just gonna do this real quick. So like I said, took out range high, right? This can kind of be looked at PO3. The two scenarios I was looking at, I'm not really bullish here until we fill this. So one thing I was expecting was probably, you know, PO3, something like that. Or since we, you know, formed this breaker, right, this would be, you know, another reasoning for us to get lower, right? So this ended up becoming your 1 hour unicorn. Then it just comes down to, like, do we have a valid SMT for this to dump? Because we have these nice low resistance lows right here as well. So just looking at the 15-minute, like, now you could be like, where's your SMT? And let me show you guys something. This your breaker, correct? Let's just get rid of this. This your breaker, correct? Holy shit. So one thing about my model is, if you don't get the SMT at the high, right, if this move is not sponsored by the SMT, then you need SMT inside of this, right? Now, do we have SMT for this to push lower? And look what's happening right now. Right fucking here, chat. At this high and at this high. Like, now we're dumping. Like, that's exactly what you want to see. Like, this is just stupid clear. So then it just comes down to, like, where would you enter, right? Nice SMT, nice inversion, right? You could probably look out, we took out this previous hourly candle high, 15-minute, you get the inversion, yeah, right here. Yeah, easy trade. Or you could be like, this your unicorn, right? Look for sells off this. Same thing. Come on, chat. Like, my model does not disappoint. Bam. Close below, tap back into it, sell off. Cool. So that's pretty much the video. Thank you guys if you guys were able to watch the whole thing. I'll see you guys, you know, in the next video. Just wanted to update you guys on my progress, because this is pretty much just like a journal for YouTube. Eventually want to get into some sort of content creation, so I'm just getting used to just recording myself and just recording my trade recaps. And I'm sure you guys find some sauce from this as well. So yeah, see you guys next video. Thanks for watching. Peace.